and on Twitter is on JoyNews on TV. Now, SSNIT has been in the news for the past few days for its $72 million scandal. It also emerged that the company's MIS general manager, Caleb Afaglo, had fake qualifications and has since been interdicted. Now, considering the severity of the revelation, do you think SSNIT should be closed down completely?
I would say no, because it's a scheme that has been put in place in order for when we have an old age issue, we can be able to cater for ourselves. And I'm sure that it's out of investment that they made that scandal. So they should rather look into it and see how best they invest our money rather than shutting it down completely.
Not really, because they have code and conduct and how they recruit workers. So if most of the workers are not using the right qualification to work there, I think they must sack them off and get the right personnel to work. Because shutting it down, it won't help.
What I think that they have to look at the officials who were involved in that corruption and they prosecute them so that the law will take its place. I mean, that's what I mean. Because, for instance, the IT person, you don't have any qualification. You go there and say you have a qualification, and at the end of the day, it's ordinary Ghanaian tax money that they are taking out. You understand? So I think the law have to work.
Not really, because SSNIT helps, for the pensioners, it's helping. So you can't just simply shut SSNIT down. You just have to take another precautions and then make investigations. So whoever is coming to work there should be properly investigated and see the background. You don't just employ any person.
Yeah, for sure. SSNIT, it has more or less become a family property. When you go to SSNIT, those who are working there, either their grandfathers or their uncle, their aunties have worked. When you go there for the hotel that there's no employment, it has become for a family and friends business. So I think something has to be done there. If not, the earlier the better. Workers are toiling up and down every day, and whenever they go on retirement, something given to them is minimal. But they are there just making, misusing the money anyhow. I think something has to be done. But if not, what is happening in this nation is just too much.
All right, so we put that on Facebook. We asked people should SSNIT be shut down following the revelations by Yoko, and we have about 51 votes.
57.
And then 57% of the people said yes, and then 43% said no. So it looks like the yes people are in a comfortable lead.
Yeah, in a comfortable lead.
So yeah, I mean, this debate, you can imagine how people are being extremely passionate about it, because yes, it involves people's pensions, and every worker, you're mandated.
You and I have
we're
contributed
mandated to
SSNIT.
contribute to SSNIT. And so at the end of, when we go on retirement, we're expecting to get something from SSNIT. But if SSNIT we're not able to sustain the scheme and it shuts down, then it means at the time we're going on retirement, we're not having anything. Eric Doe Kukusin says, absolutely, SSNIT should be scrapped for toying with our future at old age. In fact, Star Life is seriously on my mind. The monopoly of SSNIT is just bad. And John Kwachi says, what has been the outcome of the investigations? Why are you asking Ghanaians to jump the gun? If you or your daddy were to be a pensioner, how would you have posed the question? Truth reigns. Adnan says, no, but should be investigated very well so that all corporates will be punished and all their monies and properties should be jailed. God will punish all those who are sitting on the nation's monies.
Stephen Mia says the whole management of the institution must be replaced as quickly as possible. SSNIT fund must be used to educate Ghanaian children. Robert Akil says this issue doesn't need deliberation. Yes, it must be dissolved because the organization is outmoded colo system of the imperialist English and our local susu collectors are doing better. Amicus says it should be shut down, scrapped from the law, and amendments should be made to allow private companies to run pension products in a very competitive but prudent manner. Those are some very interesting comments on Facebook. Also, Member of Parliament for Clote Colley constituency, Zanetta Rollins, has expressed worry over short messaging, especially among school-going children. For instance, because it's now spelled BCOS, night as NYT, that as DAT, among others. But Dr. Zanetta Rollins is advising students to desist from such acts, adding it will negatively affect their English. What do you make of this advice? And also, I need you to share with me some of the short messages you have sent or received.
It's not something that I cultivated as I was growing, because I realized that the more you speak it, the more your mind comes to terms with it, and then you start writing it in your exams. And in exams, it's not a standard language. It's very worrying. People are trying to speak this thing they call broken languages, and if you go to schools, everybody's speaking it. And I don't think it's the best way. If you are learning English, make sure you learn the right way to speak. They have this thing, LOL, laugh out loud.
Now, when they are marking exams, you hear the children, the examiners saying that some of them, instead of U, the letter Y-O-U, then they write U over there. They think they are still on the social media or on the touch phone. So if before we were doing this SOSO system in school, they should re-practice it at the KG level. It will help people to now speak good grammar English.
For the short distance, it's helped a lot of people. So I think it is good. To me, it is good for us to use it. Some of the words, the shorthand, just go. When you want to write something, you write it fast, then you go. Exactly when we were in SHS, when the teacher is dictating, it's very too much. When you just write the shorthand, because if only you can see and then write, you can see and then refer to it, then I think it's okay, we should use it. When you are writing, because you just write the B, and then you just write the B, then you write the C, then the U come, and the S, that is all.
Most of the times, the shorthand, if you go to exams and you are writing your exams, you cannot use shorthand. So why not we go back to the old system and then correct it? I think that's good. They do A and then some dot at the top of it.
I think it's interesting. We're all culprits, and sometimes if you're not careful and you're writing,
no, not me.
Yes, said okay. Let me speak for myself.
Yeah, you should speak for yourself. Because when I'm writing, I make sure that I write it out fully.
But
because I know there's a tendency of people, wanting your English or your writing could get corrupted, and I don't want to be in that situation.
Okay, that's very good.
But this thing started some time back, back in secondary school, where we're advised that do not speak pidgin. Because you may end up writing pidgin
on
during the exams. And some of us spoke pidgin and still got away with it.
You got away with it. But lucky you.
You may not be so lucky.
You may not be lucky. Let's check what you've been saying on Facebook.
All right, so on Facebook, Brahma Kubaji says, it is such a laudable piece of advice. When I take some of my student scripts and I see the way some simple words are spelled, I get so worried what kind of future we have in such students. We need to encourage students to do a lot of reading to help them build on their vocabulary and especially writing and spelling prowess. By Jeremiah says, the advice is welcome and came at the right time. You mark student scripts, and it is not uncommon to find those short words and messages. It's affecting children's already bad grammar and inability to spell words correctly. And Oxy says, I had to cancel a whole page just last semester when I was writing entrepreneurship and a small business management exam. I had finished, right? I lost that. Yeah, I had finished answering the first question on the first page when I realized that I had done very stupid work. All the shorthand writing that I used on WhatsApp were on the answer booklet. Oops. In fact, myself, as I sit behind that paper now, looking at the good work that I have done for the lecturer, I started singing Calibor's anthem.
And Bernard Kosikuma says, this is not far from truth. Those who engage in short messaging, okay, I lost that one too. Francis, Okay, so he says those who engage in short messaging are very lazy people. Students, especially the females, need to stop this laziness. Oh, come on. Don't do that. It's both sides. And Francis Bolaño Pampa says, okay, so he's showing us some of the shorthands. He says RYT for right, K for okay, and he says GM for good morning, BTW for between. This short form of messaging is failing us. Too much of it is affecting us. I remember it had an effect on me when I was writing an exam positive advice doc.
But talking about BTW, I understand also stands for by the way.
By the way, yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, when you see it, then you're wondering which is which.
I will even do BTN for between. Anyway, so a little. Which one? Okay.
LLNP.
Which what was that?
No, that's long life and prosperity.
Okay, and you, Jeanette, so now you said you do not engage in those short messages.
But
How do you know all of this?
I know about it. I see people writing.
Okay, that's a good one. Eugene Edson now says, if communication in those words can make English speaking or writing easy, then why should they stop? And who even invented English writing? God. And finally, a lady has been turned away at an audition for this year's Miss Ghana Artistic Competition for bleaching her skin. The lady in question, however, explains to the judges that cosmetologists introduced her to a cream to help her deal with rashes on her face. Now, the question is being, what do you make of this situation, and was the panel fair for turning her away?
I think they were justified in turning her away because bleaching is bad. When you do that, it means you don't even love yourself. And the medical complications attached to bleaching too is very, very dangerous. So I don't think anybody should be encouraged to continue bleaching the skin.
No, they weren't fair. It's a kind of discrimination they are doing because it's what the doctor prescribed for her. Maybe it didn't suit her. So instead of turning her down, they should have taken her and maybe advised her on what to do.
They were not fair.
Why?
Because everybody has the right to compete in anything they want to compete in. It does not matter whatever they've done to themselves.
They should rather see her cosmetology who prescribed whatever for her to ascertain whether it's true or not. Maybe she would have been having a skin problem and whatever she used was what caused it. Because I quite remember I also used a skincare product that I saw that it was bleaching me. It was supposed to take off my scalp, but it was rather bleaching my face, so I had to stop. So maybe, yes, indeed, it was prescribed to her. So it's the judge's duty to ascertain whether it was really prescribed to her or it's something she uses on her own.
So do we have the lady in question? Well,
okay, but I'm curious. I mean, on what basis did they find out that or determine that she had bleached?
She had bleached.
Skin? Because these days, every lady you see in Accra is fair.
Oh, not every lady. I'm not fair.
Well, yeah, most of them. I mean, you, I know you. I mean, I know you're not going to bleach. But most ladies you see in town are looking fair. And then you're wondering, is this somebody who's naturally fair?
They are toning.
Or she's toning. Or she's bleaching.
Toning. All right, let's check what you've been saying.
Yeah, Barcelona says that it shouldn't be bleaching alone. Those with hair called Brazilian hair, everything about them should be Ghanaian and natural. You see? Then, okay. Ebo Hammond says, I'm sure she's the one on the extreme left. She's the only one with the different colors, one person. Omama says a cosmetologist introduced her to a cream to help her deal with rashes on her face. So you mean you don't use mirror, or you were in love with your new housing? Hey, housing. This is the first time I've heard the expression being used on you.
But Jeremiah says, rule number 1, bam. This will help us a lot in the fight against this evil social menace. And Suzette Odronimo says, a step in the right direction. I see that Ghana is now waking up and saying no to bleaching. Well done, judges. Makumate says, and the face has spread to the whole body. Well, that's a very
Umame's comment is the one that gets it for me. Yeah, new housing.
It's just like putting a housing on a phone. So
Aisha, don't you like new housing?
It depends on what it is.